Welcome back to the Entertainology Podcast. I am your host, Gabe, and man, I have the privilege to sit down with my special guest, Levi. How's it going, Levi?
Whoa. Hello there. It's been what, probably 2 years or so.
Wow, yeah, it's been a while.
I know. The last movie I reviewed with you on a podcast was, I believe it was The Dark Knight. Was it?
It was the Batman.
Oh, the Batman. Okay.
The Batman.
Yeah. So The Dark Knight was the first one, then the Batman.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a little bit now, but
Right.
the privilege is mine. So
It's okay.
the honor is mine. So thank you for the invite.
Oh, no problem. We got a special movie here today. It's a movie that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. Of course, you guys know because you see the title, but we're talking about Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer it is.
Yes, and it came out last summer.
Right.
We all remember the Barbenheimer phenomenon.
The Barbieheimer.
Barbieheimer. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, that was crazy. But yeah, it was, let me just tell you, first of all, it was such a pleasure to experience it in theaters.
It was,
It really was.
especially in IMAX.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't lucky enough to see it on the actual, what was it, like a 30 millimeter IMAX?
Okay.
Christopher Nolan was intended the movie to be watched at, I guess. But it was IMAX, so it was a bigger screen. It was better speaker, so I had the I had the pleasure of enjoying it that way, I guess.
Right. Okay, that's cool. And so there's the difference between the IMAX lenses then, am I wrong or right?
I believe there is, even though, places can call it IMAX to certain bigger screens. There is a difference in the frames and
interesting.
And not the frames, the aspect ratio.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the aspect ratio. Yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, because watching this on home, I have the 4K Blu-ray, of course. So I noticed that this movie looks phenomenal on the Blu-ray. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it yet at home. And as a matter of fact, now that I talk about the Blu-ray, did you know that this Blu-ray here sold out when it first came out? Completely sold out. Nobody could buy a copy online.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So they had to make more copies of this. That's crazy.
So in addition to the box office success, I guess, then they have another success on the actual physical copy. So that's
absolutely
pretty impressive.
That's great.
But not surprising.
Oh, yeah.
Not surprising. Just because, Christopher Nolan. Now, I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but...
well, we do have all the Nolan films here.
Exactly.
Some of them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, man, I think he knocked it quite a bit out of the ballpark with this movie.
He did. I believe that the whole historic emphasis that he had on this character, Oppenheimer, was great. I don't think that he had done something like that in the past, to where he was talking about a person from the U.S. history or any history, really.
Right.
And usually those movies, if I'm being honest, they're kind of boring to me, unless it's really, really good, which Oppenheimer is.
Right.
I'm not really interested in, history movies or anything like that. But man, he nailed it.
I know.
Yes.
He really did. Just so you guys know, we will be getting into spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you go and watch it. But I'm sure most of us here already watched it. So, it's been out for what? Over half of the year?
Something like that, yes.
Almost a year now, actually. So, but yeah, Christopher Nolan, man, you can tell he crafted something very beautiful here. In my opinion, I know I'm already getting into it a little bit, but I don't think it was necessarily a masterpiece, but it was a really It was. I know. Look at this guy's getting upset already.
No, I'm not.
But it's still a very good film. I mean, it is a very good film. You can tell that Christopher Nolan and everyone, producers, acting, I mean, they put their A game into this movie. And the end product was pretty nice. I mean, it really was.
Yes. That's why, it got the success that it got, I guess. And I believe that he did everything he could within his power to make this movie appealing and interesting. And it's just, like you said, I tend not to agree when someone says that a Christopher Nolan movie is not a masterpiece, but I believe I agree. It's not the perfect movie, but it's close to be the perfect movie. Although I can say that the whole R-rated hype that it got before it was released, I don't think that it was what I expected, I guess, from being on an R-rated movie.
Right.
But we can talk about it here in a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I'm getting a little out in the blue a little bit, but I mean, talking about perfect movies, I mean, we got that one right there. But
Inception.
Yeah, I mean, that one, fantastic. But yeah, he really did a phenomenal job in this movie. And I mean, just a lot of people will probably say that this movie is, there's a lot of talking. And it's very true that there's a lot of talking. But actually, especially on my second my second time watching this film, I almost said walk through like I was playing a game, but I've been playing too much games, I guess. But the second watching, like, you can actually tell, because the first, you can't just watch the film once. If you got to watch it twice, because the second time I watched it, I mean, I actually understood everything a lot more, like the what they were talking about, all this nuclear, like building of the bomb and all of these, like all this stuff. Like, I actually understood it a lot more. And it made the movie a lot more interesting, so.
I agree. The first time I watched the movie, I believe I was just excited about watching what Christopher Nolan did.
Right.
And I enjoyed the movie the first time, and I was like mind blown after I finished the movie after those 3 hours, right? A little over 3 hours. But I never got out of my seat. But like I said, I agree. I think that the second time that I watched that, I understood who everybody was and what the role was for everybody. Who was the antagonist of the story, and then who was the main character. Well, the main character, we know the main character, but who was playing these roles? Who were playing these roles, and how important those characters were in the whole story. So I agree with you.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And a lot of these actors, I mean, they really do a fantastic job. I mean, just Killian, like, I mean, as a main character, I mean, he kills it in this movie. I mean, he really does.
I think he has been great on other movies.
Right.
But yeah, he really did a good job in this portraying Oppenheimer. If I'm being honest, I didn't know who Oppenheimer was before the movie, but after doing my research and seeing footage of who he was, and then after watching the movie, I was like, man, Cillian Murphy, he really got into the character and tried to portray him as best as he could.
For sure.
But yeah, he did a tremendous job. I believe I remember one of the Christopher Nolan's interviews afterwards, and how or why he chose Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer, and he said that when he saw his eyes, he was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be good, or he's gonna be great playing Oppenheimer, just by seeing Cillian Murphy's eyes. So I don't know why. I don't know why he just looked at his eyes and he was like caught convinced that Cillian Murphy was going to be playing a good Oppenheimer, but I'm sure he had other reasons why he chose him.
Right.
His work with him before, so that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's like in almost all the films.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's so awesome. But yeah, I mean, just moving right along. I mean, I know that this whole movie has a lot of talking, but it's very interesting and intriguing what they're saying. But there are two scenes in particular that I kind of want to deep dive into. One of the first scenes for me was the whole hype of, like, how they were building the bomb,
right?
And now, like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna need your help here, we're gonna need your help there. But now all of a sudden, it's time to test the bomb.
Okay,
and of course they're out in like this desert area away from
the population.
Right. They even built a village,
right?
Like a small village, so people can actually stay and work on it. Because I guess this is like a top secret project. Am I wrong?
Right. Yeah. No. That was completely top secret. Nobody was supposed to know about the existence of this project. So the Manhattan Project. Yes.
Right. And I straying away a little bit, like how interesting is it, like that we later find out there were like little moles within the that they were sneaking in the information. They're like, okay, I'm gonna take this to the other country, and
right
now we're gonna build our own. Like, oh wow, that was epic right there.
That's crazy how espionage and everything worked back in the day, and how the U.S. government was trying to contain that information from leaking. Nowadays, we got cell phones and stuff and emails that we can send and everything. But having an actual spy and trying to infiltrate this project was something crazy to witness, at least in this movie, of course.
Oh, yeah. I know, that was crazy. And the way they reveal it in this film, amazing.
I know. Who would have thought?
Right.
Although I kind of had my
your suspicions.
My suspicions. Okay. Yes. Yeah. A German guy out of nowhere. Oh, I'm a good guy. Yeah. Now I want to work with you. Yes. That was kind of to be expected, I guess.
Right. But they supposedly they did background checks on all these people.
Supposedly, but once the government backs you up, I think they can do whatever, to hide whatever you're hiding.
And until the point where they actually question Oppenheimer himself.
Right.
Was he a traitor or not,
Yes.
It's crazy.
He was.
Just the build up and suspense. I know I'm going all around here, but just the build up and the expense in that... It wasn't really like a courtroom. It was like a sit down meeting.
Right, really. Right. It wasn't even official.
Right.
It was just they considered it as a casual conversation.
Right.
It was not a hearing. It was not a court.
Yes.
So it was very unfair if you ask me. I think that was very unfair for Oppenheimer to be talking like that without any legal protection or anything like that.
That's true.
That's how it happens. So.
And the intensity in that room. I mean, it's and then the way the music comes in at the most correct times. I mean, just holy cow!
Oh man, don't get me started with the with the music.
Can you hear the music, Levi?
Can you hear the music, man? As a huge fan of Hans Zimmer, maybe. You guys remember or not, but I'm a huge fan of Hans Zimmer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you did absolutely know that. I was kind of saddened to the fact that Christopher Nolan was not gonna work with Hans Zimmer on this project.
Yeah,
I was kind of sad to hear that because I saw the news, the articles saying, Christopher Nolan is no longer gonna work with Hans Zimmer in this movie or the previous movie, which was Tenet.
Oh man,
that was also unfortunate. But I would like to say that I'm impressed and I'm happy with the end result with the with Christopher choosing Ludwig. What's his name? Gore.
Ludwig.
I can't.
I don't remember his.
I don't know.
Name, but
no, I do remember his last name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Gorns something.
I don't see it on here. I'm sorry. They should put the music guy's name on here. What?
Actually, it might be there.
It's on the top. I don't know.
No, I think I could find it.
Find it.
Yes.
If not, we'll find it on here.
It was. Maybe I didn't find it.
Yeah, but I mean, this music in general was just fantastic. And,
it was
the way they added it in to the movie. I mean, at just the right moments too. Here we go. Göransson.
Yes.
Now there we go.
Göransson.
I just found it here too.
Yes, Ludwig Göransson. He worked with Christopher on Tenet, and
the same guy.
Yes, okay. And he did great. I wasn't really impressed by the music in Tenet, but when I heard the actual music, I actually hear the music prior to the movie, okay. And
I've done that too.
I was like, wow, this sounds different, but it sounds good.
Right.
Right. So I'm very pleased with this music composer. Saddened a little bit that we haven't seen Hans Zimmer and Chris doing a collaboration, but I'm happy with the end result for sure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I probably would have loved to see Hans Zimmer's vision.
Yeah.
Or Hans Zimmer, sorry.
Hans Zimmer's
vision. It would have been kind of cool to see what he could have come out with, but what we found here and what we saw and heard in the finished product was fantastic.
He was definitely great.
Yeah.
I have not heard many of Ludwig's pieces or music lately. However, I can even say that he might be inspired by the greatest or one of the greatest. I believe, just due to the level of epicness, I guess.
I agree. I agree
of his tracks on this movie, but
right.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was inspired by John Williams, which I highly doubt. But
okay.
He's great. He's great. He's probably one of the top three. But no, I think this music sounds more like Hans Zimmer inspired.
It does. Yeah, I bet you if you were to take a random person who's not into music at all and then put one of his songs to say, is this made by the same composer? They'd probably say yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But he has his originality too, so I give him that very original score. So inspired by maybe Hans Zimmer, but very original with itself.
Right. Exactly. That's awesome. Well, anyway, I know. Wow, what a tangent we went on there, but
I know
I was all because I was talking about that amazing scene in the desert. But going back to that, I mean, that scene, was one of the best scenes in the entire movie, if not the best scene, because the amount of build up unto the moment where they ignite the bomb. And then when the bomb ignites, it's like all quiet.
Right.
Like, it's crazy because it takes a while for the sound, to get back there. And when that sound hit me in the theater, gosh, I jumped up out of my seat, man. That was scary as heck.
It was definitely Chris' way to be, how do you say this? Realistic? Is that how you say it? He likes to be as close to reality as possible in his movies.
Right.
Tenet, we saw the airplane scene when it crashes, that 747 huge airplane.
Right.
That was real.
Yeah.
And the Dark Knight, all the stunts and the the semi flipping, that was real too.
Oh yeah.
So for this movie, when I heard that Christopher Nolan was not going to use CGI at all.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
I
know.
believe you guys maybe remember the memes about him actually using a real A-bomb, right?
Yeah.
But I was very impressed with what he did. Like I said, with what he had without using any sort of CGI. But yeah, I agree with that scene of the explosion. I was actually expecting the sound right away when it
really? Okay.
ignited.
First time watching, huh?
For that first time watching, I was expecting that sound right away, but then I realized that's more accurate, right? Because you see the light first, and then you hear the sound. So
exactly.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Did it give you a little jolt too, or not really?
Not as much as you. Okay. I wasn't as scared, but it was definitely a big boom.
Yeah, we actually got the privilege of watching it together.
Yes,
the first time. Yeah, that was real nice.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was fantastic, and actually, almost all the seats were filled. Am I wrong?
Yeah, there was maybe one or two empty, but that's probably because nobody wanted to see it alone. But yeah, most of those seats were booked.
Yeah, that was really nice to experience it like that. And it's interesting how some audiences probably not. But the audience that we went to go see it with were very respectful. I mean, it was entirely quiet in the theater when that bomb went off.
Yep.
And the same thing watching it at home. Like I forgot at what point the sound got back to the to where they're watching. But that was also cool to experience even at home. But yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah. I at that point, and again, I believe this was a very great movie. We'll get to the scoring here in a second, but it was a little too long.
I agree. Yes.
And at this point, when you're talking about this scene where the actual bomb, ignites, I was kind of expecting that to be like, oh, this is towards the end, but really it wasn't. It wasn't. It was like towards the middle, more like.
Right.
And
you mean like the testing of the bomb? Right.
Okay. Like the because they succeed on actual making the bomb. So I was like, so that's it. But then I realized the movie is not called The Atomic Bomb.
Right.
It's called Oppenheimer. Yeah. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. So after he made the bomb, then there's more story behind what happened after. So
makes sense.
It does make sense. However, I believe it was a little too long.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, that's why it's not a masterpiece for me. I mean, many of the longtime listeners, they know that I don't like 3-hour movies. And it's true. I mean, like, because at what point will I watch it again? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Saturday night. It's a little late, 10:30. Am I going to pop on Oppenheimer?
Right. No.
3 hours long. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're going to see it in parts and sections. But
there we go. It's going to look more like Rush Hour or something, hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, cut the time in half here. And so like, when I think about Oppenheimer, I got to kind of be in the mood for it. Although it is a fantastic movie, don't get me wrong, but it's a long movie. It really is long. And I've actually looked into some other reviewers who also have said the same thing.
Yeah.
That when you sit there, you're going to feel those 3 hours. And unfortunately, I felt those 3 hours.
I agree with you now.
Right.
The first time I watched the movie, like I said, I was going with the high expectations, and it met my expectations.
Right.
However, I didn't felt the time because of all that excitement that I was like, it was building up prior to the movie. So I didn't feel really the 3 hours. Like I said, I didn't even went to the restroom or anything like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, I didn't.
That's awesome.
Got out of my seat at all for those 3 hours.
That's good.
But after the second and third time that I saw it in IMAX, again, I was a huge fan of the movie. I did feel the the actual time,
Right,
and even though I enjoy it, it was a little too much.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, I feel like what they could have done was really squished out some of the stuff to leave room for the, I guess, broader story. I feel like they could have done that. I felt like they could at least throw this down to maybe 245 or 250, something like that.
Yeah. Even 230.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
I don't know if they could cut that much out, but maybe.
I believe so. Just because, there was these scenes where, and I guess we can touch on this subject. So the fact that, I talk about rated R.
Oh, yeah. Go right ahead.
Going into the rated R
right ahead.
Part of the movie. I do not believe that those scenes, explicit scenes with this lover of Oppenheimer were really needed. I mean,
I agree.
Maybe it happened in real life, and that's okay. I mean, I guess, right?
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I don't know that it was necessary to add those scenes. I think they were a little too extra, and maybe if it was portrayed in a different way, where Oppenheimer was like maybe talking to her or just portraying that relationship in a different way.
Yeah,
it would have just achieved the same thing as they did with those explicit scenes.
Right.
So, if you ask me, I don't think the R-rated portion was really needed in any way.
Yeah,
and that could have been just deleted and just make the movie 2 hours and 35 minutes or something like that.
Save 15 minutes right there, probably.
Yeah, there was a lot of those scenes. Yeah,
there was. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not. I didn't think it was necessary. I do hear some Hollywood directors. They say, "Oh, we add this, because otherwise it wouldn't be the same." But I feel like for the sake of the runtime, they should have cut it out. Because you get a much more like refined, just for example, just take Inception. Inception is only about 2.5 hours,
right?
And it is fantastic. I mean, it's a fantastic runtime. It never feels. As a matter of fact, that movie feels short for some reason. It's like somewhere in there 30 minutes evaporated for me.
Yeah.
Or in Inception. That's how good it is,
Yeah.
But in Oppenheimer, they could have done the same thing. I mean, can you imagine them squeezing something into a more compact movie? I think it would have came out to a better movie for sure.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
However, since there was all this talking and it was mostly talking, I believe that's probably the reason why Chris extended the runtime on this movie, just because there was really not much action, really. I mean, there was really not action at all.
Not really. I guess unless the bomb, I count the bomb as kind of like
an action. Yeah, but other than that, there was no action. So how can you make the movie more appealing without the action?
Right.
Maybe just by adding more conversations or interesting conversations.
Right.
I'm not physicist, but I was very intrigued and very fascinated by hearing all these formulas and
absolutely,
and numbers and all these things that those physicists were talking about. So in that regard, I was really into the movie, and again, I think it's a great movie, but it's a little just too long.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And when you do something like that, you can kind of when you shave off something like that, or even making it like a PG-13 rating, you get more of a broader audience that way. You think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? So
the movie made almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
Almost $1 billion dollars. And I believe that if it was rated PG-13, I think it would have make even more.
Right. Yeah.
So I cannot imagine, how many audience or how much more money they would have made.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it was a success. So
It was. It still was a success either way. I mean, we're not beaten down on the movie
Right,
in any way.
right.
I really enjoy Oppenheimer. But one of the other scenes, because I know that the build up for this movie, I was kind of hearing little things about like, oh, there's like little horror elements in this movie. And that brings me to my second favorite scene. Right when the bomb had already exploded. I mean, and just a scene where he's with the president.
okay,
I can feel so much tension in that scene. Amazing. And they're just talking too, and it's amazing. Like the tension that you feel, like you feel what Oppenheimer's feeling there.
yeah.
Like it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he used the bomb. So.
Before I move forward, I didn't expect Gary Oldman to be there. I didn't really see the whole like list of actors that were gonna play in the movie.
They just came out of nowhere. All these famous actors,
Right?
It's crazy,
And it was just great actors, And seeing Gary Oldman as the president, which I cannot remember his name, the president's name, but it was
Roosevelt?
definitely.
I don't know.
Was it? I don't think it was Roosevelt. No, but I agree. That was scary. It was. You felt bad for Oppenheimer when the president just turned him down and be like, "Yeah, you know what? It's the blood is in my hands, and not son of yours. So, bye.
I know.
Get out of here."
I know, and that brings me to the actual scene. I didn't know if you got confused, but the actual scene I was referring to was like, so he feels so bad because the bomb was used, and he killed. Well, he thinks the blood is on his hands.
Right.
Rightfully so, I guess. But now he has to make a speech in front of a gym, or it looks like a gym with bleachers or something like that, and they're just sitting there. They're watching him. And he's making this speech. He's getting like flashes. Yeah. Now that scene was fantastic, and it was scary in the theaters. Actually, I was getting scared in the theaters because I didn't know if something was gonna It was just it was really awesome, that scene.
I believe it was in a small auditorium. In Los Alamos.
There we go.
And yes, I mean all the flashbacks and the visions that he was having, they were a little scary. Yes.
They were.
Again, I don't know that was part of the R-rated parts of the movie, but it was somewhat scary.
Right.
Maybe what Christopher Nolan was referring to as saying that the movie was going to be sort of like a horror movie was because the fact that he created a mass destruction bomb or weapon, right? And that's scary. That alone is scary. And the fact that when he was having a conversation with these, I believe it was general or whoever that Leslie guy was, saying, "Oh, we're not sure if we're gonna destroy the world by igniting this bomb." I think that was scary too.
Yeah,
him thinking that way and maybe waiting for that to ignite the whole atmosphere. That's
that's crazy.
I that alone, I think that was the scary part. But with regards to the visions, I agree they were somewhat scary, but I don't know, just not as scary to me, I guess.
Oh, okay. First time, of course. Second time, it wasn't that bad, but
right.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. How interesting would it be just to kind of re-watch this movie, not watching it ever? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever had a chance to re-watch a movie that you have seen, do you know what I mean by that?
Like not remembering anything about the movie?
Not remembering everything. Let's say I lost my memory and then I watch Oppenheimer for the first time again, like that. I mean, this would be the movie to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a movie that you're going to be rewatching a lot just because of a 3-hour runtime.
Right.
And that's something that I think about when I think about movies. I think about
Rewatchability.
the rewatchability on it.
Yes.
How many times am I going to watch this in a year? If
there are certain movies that you're like, man, this is a masterpiece, or this is a great movie,
right?
But I'm not gonna watch it again in a year or two, maybe.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that the movie is not good. It's just that, I don't know, it's not rewatchable as rewatchable. It's great, but it's not as rewatchable.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know we're not talking about other movies here, but I can put an example for me at least.
Go ahead.
The Joker.
Yep.
Right, with
Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix. That movie was great. I love that movie.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I didn't rewatch that at all. I rewatched it like maybe a month ago.
I agree.
Just because and I was testing a new TV that I bought. But other than that, that movie was not rewatchable for me. Not because it was long or anything like that, but just the whole story was kind of sad and depressing, and I didn't really want to watch it. But that doesn't mean that it's not a great movie. So same thing for Oppenheimer. I think it's a great movie, and not a masterpiece, but a great movie. But I cannot rewatch it like every other month or so.
Right. Yes.
Unlike other movies, like you said, Rush Hour or Inception or
or Top Gun Maverick
or The Dark Knight Rises
there
or
you
The
go.
Dark Knight.
There
The Dark Knight, I will
Knight.
watch that every 2 months or so. But it's definitely not a very rewatchable movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know what? I'm sure for some people they love the heck out of this movie and they'll watch it, every season or something,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I watched it 3 times in IMAX when I came out. I did really like it, but at this point, even my girlfriend, she's like, "Oh, I want to watch the movie with you," and I'm like, "I don't know. I mean, it's a 3-hour movie and it's great, but I just don't want to watch it right now. It's just too soon, I guess, to rewatch it."
Yeah.
She believes that I don't want to watch it with her, but no, it's not that. It's just not very rewatchable afterwards.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll watch it again at one point, but it's just not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the important thing about it. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, what a great movie, and the ending definitely leaves an impact in you for sure.
Yeah.
Because especially the way the music is building up towards the ending, and then you see it's interesting how throughout this movie, it's almost kind of like you get to see how Oppenheimer feels. It's like you get his perspective,
right,
of what he thought about everything. And it's very apparent in the end where you can see inside his mind, and you see what he thinks that, the earth would become. You see like the snapshot of the earth and like how it turns on fire.
Right.
Man.
Is it atmosphere or whatever? It's
like if it were to start on fire.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. It's just his point of view, I guess, on what he did, and his regret, because you can perceive that regret that he had after those bombs were dropped in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. He felt bad. He felt like, man, what have I done? Now I have become the destroyer of the worlds. Or he quoted that a part of the book that he was reading. I think it was a Hindu god or something like that he quoted from a book. But just his regret about what he did over, what's the word I want to find?
Over what? I don't know.
I don't know what's the word I want to overcome.
Oh, okay.
Is that the word? Overcome his success making the actual bomb.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? It's like he did he did great by designing and building the bomb and inventing this bomb.
Absolutely.
But his regret was greater than his pride on actually developing this bomb. Or so that's how I perceived him, I guess.
Gotcha.
In the movie. But what do you think about Robert Downey Jr. as this government official that he was trying to silence Oppenheimer?
I mean, oh my gosh. His acting is phenomenal.
I mean, yes, let's start by saying that Robert Downey Jr. he just killed it.
I don't know if he got a nominee or an award for it.
He did.
An award? He got it?
He won a Best Supporting Actor award. So, in rightfully so, he deserved it. He is one of the few people that has overcome. Is that the word? A previous character, a previous iconic character, which was Iron Man, right?
Right.
So everybody knew Robert Downey Jr. You'll hear his name and you'll be like, "Oh, Iron Man! Oh yeah, that's Iron Man right there." But now he's not only Iron Man; he's the bad guy from Oppenheimer, you know. Yeah. And I think he did great with this movie, and that just proves that he's an excellent actor.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's played Iron Man for well over 10 years.
Right.
You know, and he was excellent at it. But, I mean, it's fantastic to see him in this role.
Right.
And, you know, it proves to everyone that, you know, he cannot just do Iron Man. He can do other roles, and he does them flawlessly.
Yes.
There's a reason why Robert said that this was his favorite movie to ever act in.
Wow.
He said that for a reason.
Yes.
You know?
And I believe that's one of the main reasons is how Chris directed this movie and how he treated all the actors, all these great actors.
Right.
I believe that even though, you know, Chris was the final, he made the final decision on who he wanted to have in the movie. I believe all these actors when he called them, I personally believe they were like, yes, like right away, because everybody wants to work with Christopher Nolan.
Absolutely.
And you can see that here in this movie. Otherwise, I do not believe that all these great A actors would work with each other, especially because there's a lot of competition, right?
Right.
Like, oh, I'm a this great actor, and then I'll have this other great actor next to me. He's gonna be shining brighter than I am. But at this point, nobody really care about that. They just care about being on a movie where Christopher Nolan was the director.
Absolutely.
So that was very noticeable, and that was very admirable from these actors as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely like the way that kind of shaped out for sure. That was fantastic. Yep. A-star acting all around.
Yep. Of course. Yep. Yes. So just a matter of waiting for his next masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait.
Right. He's cooking up something good for you.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe even if it's another movie based on a character from history or sci-fi or whatever he comes with, I think he's gonna do great.
Absolutely.
As always.
Yeah. Was there anything else that maybe popped out at you in this movie?
Just going back to the CGI usage.
Yes.
It's just very impressive how he managed to not use any CGI and achieve all that he'd achieved in the movie. From the bomb itself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Creating that mushroom cloud.
Right.
Which was a night, but still, that was very impressive. And to the visions that John Oppenheimer was having, those were really, really impressive. Yeah. When the first time I watched that, I was like, how is this not CGI?
Yeah.
But later on, I find out how, he did it, and It's very impressive. It's very impressive.
Yeah, there's YouTubers. Have you seen the YouTube
Right.
videos?
Yeah,
there's
just
YouTubers out there
recreating.
recreated those scenes. That's crazy.
Right.
It was awesome though to see.
But yeah, praise on that job of Christopher Nolan and his
Right.
the studio too. Which by the way, that brings me to the other topic that I wanted to touch real quick.
Absolutely.
So now that he is with Universal, I kind of miss the Warner Bros. Logo, you know?
Oh, yeah, I see it actually on the,
yeah.
on the side.
Yeah, it's just Universal
actually, it's
now.
on the side now, yeah.
Yeah.
There's Universal right there on the side there.
On the side
is it on the other side too?
Yes,
Oh,
it
is on the
is.
other side.
So
This side too.
no hate to Universal Studios because they do great job with movies.
Jurassic World. You know?
Exactly, all the Jurassic Park and King Kong back in the day, and
wow.
Who else?
The
I mean,
OGs.
many other. I believe the Transformers movies were a Paramount.
Maybe. Yeah.
/ Universal movies, but anyway, I think that the studio does great, and Christopher Nolan working with Universal in this movie did not really feel any different from the Warner Bros. Studios, but it just it was a different. I just felt weird seeing the Universal Studio logo at the beginning rather than seeing Warner Brothers, but. That's just me, you know.
Okay. Gotcha.
I guess it's a next stage, the next stage for Christopher Nolan with this house studio.
Yep.
But it's just like another Christopher Nolan movie that looks great.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One thing I wanted to also add was because I know you mentioned the CGI. I feel like, do you think, because I haven't found anywhere clearly where it says that, I believe he didn't make any CGI shots. I believe that. But there had to have been some sort of effects clean up, I assume, right?
Visual effects.
Yeah, visual effects.
So VFX for sure.
Okay.
I'm sure there was some cleanup, as you mentioned, some added... land or whatever it is, but when it comes to like making the bomb CGI or the atoms or anything like that, none of that. But there was some computer generated parts for sure. Yes,
absolutely.
Just in like any other movie, really.
Right. Yeah,
but just not as much.
Yeah. Yes. But just for like CGI in general, out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like for the most part.
Right.
I mean, and for the director to do that, wow.
Nowadays, yes. Nowadays, everything is CGI.
I miss like the old days, like, you know,
all the practical
CGI,
effects.
You know what I'm saying? The practical effects were nice back then.
Yeah. Yeah, just you know, going back to what I said at the beginning, Christopher, he just likes the practical effects.
Yeah.
And
nice.
From, you know, like I said, the plane and Tenet and the bomb and Oppenheimer. I think the bomb was like his craziest achievement in regards to the practical effect, I guess.
Yeah.
But very impressive. Very impressive.
It was very impressive. Very impressive. Oh man. What a movie.
Yes.
Is there anything we're missing here?
I think there's a lot we're missing here.
Oh,
but,
what are we missing?
But
why did you touch on another thing?
Overall, I mean, the movie was great. The runtime was a little too long.
Right.
However, I would have loved to, and I kind of was expecting to see the actual bombs like dropping on those locations.
Okay.
And not to be.
Oh, geez. Okay.
You know, not to be. Sound like I wanted to see blood or anything like that, but
right. But I understand. I understand what you.
But I believe it would have. I think it would have created a little more impact on what Oppenheimer was like feeling, or why he was feeling that way. Because even though he had the visions, right, like you mentioned,
right,
and of the people like calcinated and dying and stuff for radiation, I think it would have made a little more impact if they would have shown those bombs dropping,
Right.
and just
Makes
the
sense.
outcome of those bombs. But that's just me. Maybe other people disagree. I just believe that it would have made a difference on understanding why Oppenheimer was feeling
Right.
that way.
No, yeah, that's actually the first time I ever heard that, and that sounds amazing, actually. too.
Yeah.
Because then maybe you can feel like a little more like emotionally connected to the movie that way as well.
Right.
Because that's the thing about making like these history dramas, biography, biography. Basically, I mean, this stuff happened for real. I mean, it did happen.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot to not only like make a movie like that, but to make it historically accurate.
Right.
And I think that would have brought the movie to a whole nother
Another
level.
yes.
Emotionally.
And
you
see,
know?
that would have really take advantage of the R-rated.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
great, I guess, just because of the deaths. And if he wanted to be graphic, showing the outcomes, the real outcomes of the effects of the A bomb, he would have done that instead of those explicit scenes, I guess.
Right.
But
I agree.
again, that's just me. That's just my
That's
opinion.
That is a great opinion. I like it. Yeah, I agree. That would have definitely a lot more nicer to see.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to add. Other than being one of the Chris's greatest,
Right.
for
Yep,
sure.
I agree.
I would say top
agree.
5. I wouldn't say top 3.
Top 5. Yeah, top 5.
I'd say top 5.
Number 5.
Yes. 'Cause I mean, again, we're not talking about other movies here, but
right.
my top 3 movies from Chris will be The Dark Knight first.
Okay.
I would say
Oh my goodness.
Inception.
Yes, I agree. Inception.
And
Yep.
for the third place, Interstellar.
Interstellar. Yes,
Yes.
baby. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Interstellar. But anyway,
I don't remember what some of his were. I have to remember.
about what?
Like if I were to rate them.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? What about The Dark Knight? You don't put that. You
Yeah,
don't put
The
that-
Dark Knight
Oh,
was
you
the
said
first
that.
one,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
that was the first one. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I would say I would say Inception,
First.
Interstellar, and then The Dark Knight.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I love Interstellar. I've come to love Interstellar quite a bit.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
But Inception, sheesh, that one was just
Mind-blowing.
fantastic.
Yes. Mind-blowing.
Oh
The
my
story,
gosh.
the originality,
I know, even to this day,
yes.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know what?
Hmm?
Now that I'm thinking, I think I'm a little bit wrong by saying that this was the first movie based on history.
Oh. Like, are you talking about in like Oppenheimer?
No, when it comes to Chris directing a movie about history.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about Dunkirk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dunkirk. Man.
That one was a great film, too.
That was a very interesting movie, and I will rate it probably just under these
Right.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just has more action, and that's
Yeah,
understandable.
yeah.
So, but yeah, well,
And it's something that we can learn from, too, because that movie is short. I mean, it's like an hour and 50 minutes or an hour 45 minutes or something.
is it Dunkirk? I think it's like 2 hours and 30. I believe.
No, it's not. It's
Really?
not. It's short. And that's what I love about Dunkirk is that it's short and you don't have to worry, about, oh my gosh, it's so long.
Right, but it was
You know?
it was. I didn't feel the runtime when I watched Dunkirk in the theaters.
Right.
But
It makes sense. It makes sense.
but yeah, I think we're deviating here from
Oh,
from
yeah.
Talking about Oppenheimer.
a little
But still-
bit.
Still,
Hold on. I really want to know how long Dunkirk is
Yeah.
now at this point. All right. So according to, IMDb says hour 46 minutes.
oh wow,
Yeah. See, I told you, but it's that film is so compacted, and there's
Right.
so much going on in an hour and 46 minutes that
Right.
you remember it as 2.5 hours.
I guess.
See?
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Like it's a great film,
Man, the whole concept of Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Maybe the story was one thing, right?
Right.
But the way Christopher directed
Right. Yeah.
Dunkirk was amazing. Was
Yeah.
mind blowing.
I know.
You would not expect these scenes
I
to
know.
really come together like they did. But
I know.
anyway,
Yeah.
that's another topic for another
podcast, right?
Yes.
When you come back.
Well, I will. Maybe in 2 years.
Oh,
but,
whatever.
no.
Oh, geez. Love to have you back sooner.
Thank you.
Yes. So, I mean, is that wrapping up Oppenheimer?
I
then?
believe so. Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
Interesting.
I think we're what if you do things the same way? Are we scoring the movie?
We are scoring
Oh,
the
wow.
movie. Oh, man. And before we get to those scores, let's roll these ads. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast? Well, let me tell you, Podbean has the perfect hookup for you. All you have to do is go to podbean.com/etfree1, and they're going to get you hooked up to do a 1-month free trial, and they're going to distribute your podcast onto all sorts of different podcast platforms. So do not lose out on this deal. Go and give it a try. Do you have a small business or something that you are looking to promote? Well, let me just tell you, Podbean has the perfect hookup for you as well. Just go to sponsorship.podbean.com/etfree1 and they will get you hooked up to give you up to a $100 free credit to use for your advertising purposes. So don't lose out on this deal. Go and give it a try. And we're back from that ad. Thank you very much. So let's get back into the
Scoring of the
here.
movie. Okay.
Before we give our ratings, let's see what other people think about this movie.
Okay.
All right. So the IMDb fan score rating is a whooping 8.3 out of 10.
Man.
Wow, that's pretty high.
It is. It is.
That is pretty high. The Rotten Tomatoes score for the critics is a 93% certified fresh, and the audience score is a 91%.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I mean, it's to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, these are
Right.
some high ratings going on here.
Yes.
So I don't agree. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's pretty high, man. And that's awesome to see
Right.
that people enjoy this movie that much. So critics and fans alike, they love it.
Yeah.
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 That's good. Well, you know how we roll around here. If it's your first time here, if first time watching, listening, we think C is an average movie. So anything above it, of course, is like amazing. Anything below it is not so good. So A+ is like the best movie
The
I've ever
greatest.
seen. And F is like, I'm never watching that again. Justice League. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
Just kidding. That's Fantastic Four, actually.
Yeah. Fan four stick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, geez. Well, Levi, since you're our guest here, why don't you give your rating first? And why?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Man,
A little too much pressure?
it is a little too much pressure.
Should I go
here.
first?
Um,
Oh,
you know what? Yes. Let me rethink here.
you want
for
me
a
to go
second.
first? Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Because I think
But-
you already made up your mind. So
yeah, yes, I do. For those of you that know, I have a personal YouTube called Movie Art Reviews, and I actually did this movie already on there. Basically, just a very short version of the podcast, but just me, guys. So if you guys want to check me out over there, go ahead. But I'm still strong with that rating. So if you guys have seen that video, this movie is a great movie. Let me just tell you that flat out. Nolan, great movie. I mean, brings all the pieces together. Everyone brings their A game. Cast and crew, I mean, phenomenal job. But it's just too long. I mean, it's just, jeez. God, when is this going to end, you know? It's like I'm constantly looking at my watch, and it's like, oh my goodness. But that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Like I said before, we could have maybe like shortened it up quite a bit there, but to make more compacted movie. But it's interesting too, because real quick, I talked to a friend of mine, and he's like, I felt like the movie was too short. Like there wasn't enough information. I was like, oh my gosh, I've
Wow.
never heard somebody say that before. I'm like, okay, he was expecting a 4-hour movie. Very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, it's still a great movie. It's not a masterpiece, unfortunately, but it's still a great watch. And I can't wait to watch it again sometime this year. We'll see. But I'm going to give this movie an A-.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
An A-.
Especially from you.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with what I said in that video that I made.
Wow.
So
I haven't watched your video. I'm sorry. But
no, it's okay. but hold on. I mean, like, I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
no. I didn't expect that just due to the how special you are by when rating movies. 'Cause I've seen some of your videos,
Yeah.
and I've heard from you, talking to you in person, what rating you would give to other movies, and you're sometimes very harsh.
Yeah,
you're harsh with those movies. So
yeah, I am.
So I'm very impressed that you remain on the A grade.
Yeah, well, A- is good. Like
it's
you
still
remember getting
good.
A- on a test, you were happy, right?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm impressed. Yes.
Yeah.
So you did like this movie.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. It wasn't a masterpiece, though, but
I will give it an A.
oh, very interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Not
Okay.
minus, not plus.
Okay.
But an A,
Okay.
all in all, just because it was great.
Yeah.
It was close to be a masterpiece if it wasn't for the runtime.
Right.
But it was that close to being a masterpiece that, I'll just give it an A.
Right. And the
Yeah.
explicitness too. I forgot
Exactly.
about that.
Yes. The explicitness, the whole extra
Yeah.
scenes that could have, been removed. But
That's right.
that's why I will rate it an A, just an A.
Very good. Very good. That's very nice, Mr. Levi.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, I think that has come to the conclusion of this podcast. Appreciate you so much for joining me tonight.
No problemo, Gabriel.
Oh, yes.
It's my pleasure. It's my honor it's an honor to be here. And once again, after about 2 years, but hopefully you get invited more often.
Oh no, yeah, you're on the list this year for sure.
Very well.
You'll come back and do Dunkirk or something.
Dunkirk or any other movies.
Christopher Nolan movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a fanboy. I am a fanboy, actually. Yes. Anyway,
we haven't done Interstellar yet, surprisingly.
we could do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we could do that one. That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, I also love Mr. Nolan as well.
Yes. So we're
Just-
fanboys here.
He has some great films for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you guys again for watching this. We would like to know what you think about Oppenheimer. So why don't you leave in the comments below what you thought about this movie. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating. We'd really appreciate that. And you can also say what you liked about this movie too there, if you wanted to. So that's pretty cool.
Very well.
Is there any shout outs that you want to give here today?
To all my friends.
Okay.
To all our friends, I should say.
Yeah, there we go. We appreciate you guys. We love you.
So, and please excuse any. Never mind.
What? Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Sometimes I rethink too much or think too much before I speak or talk about something. But yes, excuse my slowness. Slowness.
Your slowness.
Yes.
No, it's good. You're good. It turned out fantastic.
Very well.
Yeah. Well, guys, I guess we'll see you guys next time, and peace out. Bye. Bye.